Hey everybody, welcome back to The Realtor Show. Again, it's The Realtor Show powered by Keller Williams in Irvine. My name is Dan Sfera. I kind of directed some of the marketing initiatives, the content creation for Keller Williams Irvine, specifically through these YouTube videos. But I'm also on the Facebook fan page and I manage the Instagram account every now and then. And I'm joined by Mega Agent. Would you mind introducing yourself, Devin, and let the people know just a little bit about you?
Sure, you bet. I'm Devin Doherty, and I am been with Keller Williams since 2009, and I have been in the top group of Keller Williams agents since 2009, and I have a background in not only residential real estate but commercial real estate and also residential construction. I was a former general contractor, and my background prior to that was it was in the technology industry. So, pretty broad background, but over the last 5 years, I've sold over 500 homes, and all thanks to the training and the support that I get from Keller Williams.
And thank you for coming on the show. The purpose of this show, the Realtor Show, is to empower other agents out there, even if they're not Keller Williams agents. I mean, we're more than happy to have you guys join. And if you're interested, you can just call myself or the Market Center. My number is 949-415-6256, just to get that out of the way. But the purpose of this show is to actually empower you. Okay, it doesn't matter what broker you're with. So thanks for coming on, Devin. You were highly recommended by our team leader, Mr. Dan Peart. So let's get right into it. I mean, how did you start? Give us a little bit of your background. I know you mentioned you were a contractor. Just talk about maybe where you grew up, what your parents did, things like that.
Sure. So originally I was born in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was raised on the south side of Chicago until age 12, and then in 1979 I moved from Chicago out to California. My family settled in Mission Viejo, and from age 12 I've been here for 35 years. So here in South Orange County for 35 years, bounced around between Huntington Beach and Dana Point and San Clemente and back to Mission Viejo after we had kids. I have a wife who's a real estate broker as well, Judy, and I have three kids who are 13, 10, and 7.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah. And what made you get into real estate? At what age did you decide, hey, I'm gonna get into this business?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking. I got in to real estate in 1991 was when I got my original license, and in 91 I was originally introduced to real estate through my wife's side of the family. Her dad is a real estate broker, and he is 83 years old and still active today. Uh,
Wow.
and her dad's mom, in other words, Judy's grandma, was actually the founder of the Beverly Hills Board of Realtors. And this is back in the 1940s when females in business weren't, was almost not allowed. And she headed up and started the Beverly Hills Board of Realtors. So it's kind of in my blood.
Right, right. And so we're gonna jump around a little. I want to get back to you're an instructor at our market center, Keller Williams Irvine. We're gonna get back into that. But you are a mega agent, right? And first of
Yes.
all, what does mega agent mean? Because there's people out there who have no idea.
Well, I think what mega agent means, it means that what Keller Williams defines is it defines a bracket of production, and when somebody's considered a mega agent, it's when they're doing more than a capping agent would be, which would be the next higher level. So you have basically new agents, which Keller Williams is really good at supporting, and then you have capping agents, and then you have mega agents, and mega agents generally means more than $10 million worth of production.
Okay. Okay. And you've been in Mission Viejo from your youth, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you think if you had to move somewhere else, that you would be a mega agent? Could you do it all over again?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I also am an agent who has expanded across the country, and so we actually operate teams in multiple market centers throughout the United States, and I do that with my business partnership through Five Doors Network. So
Okay.
I actually have We have close to 15 locations throughout the United States where I have agents that work on our team in different places all around the U.S.
So you've built a system in one place and then you just replicated it in various locations.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about what Gary teaches us. And unfortunately, part of Gary's top 100 agents in the company, so I get to mastermind with Gary on a regular basis. And what's great about that is that he has basically built a platform for us to take our business models and allow them to grow outside of our own physical boundaries. And when you're in business with talent and you're working with people that are successful and they're success minded, you can partner with them and help drive basically a franchise within the franchise, if you will.
Wow. And what are those mastermind meetings like?
Wow. Well, they're phenomenal. What I can tell you is that they're different at different levels, right? But what's great about masterminds, which there's one that's coming up here at the end of the month in April, right here in Huntington Beach. They're normally, either on the East Coast or down in Texas or Las Vegas, but this year they're right here in Las Vegas. I mean, they're right here in Huntington Beach, and what they do is if you had the ability to get around a group of people who have the same issues as you did, but maybe weren't in a competitive space, they're in different areas around, and you could use them as a roundtable for solving your biggest challenges, and then literally breaking those down and figuring out how to get better in whatever area you need help with. That's what a mastermind is.
Hmm.
And they're done on a small group basis, and the topics are very specific to what you need versus just a general training topic, which would be something that is more general. This is, hey, look, I need to hire a new assistant. So what do I need to do that? And then you can brainstorm with people that have already done it or people that are in the process of doing it as well.
Hmm. Yeah, thanks, Devin. And we're going to get into you being an instructor at our market center, and we're going to talk about some of the things you focus on there, some of the fundamental principles that you teach. If you had to, in your opinion, if you had to give your opinion on other realtors, okay, it's not a secret that most are not successful, right?
Right.
And what is in your opinion, the number one reason why?
Well, I think the number one reason why, quite honestly, is that the bar is so low. I mean, here in California, it takes about 120 hours to get your license. So anybody can get their license and anybody will. Here in Orange County, we have 50,000 licensees, of which 29,000 hang their licenses and actually put them to work. And when anybody can have a license, anybody will. And I think a lot of people get into real estate with the for the glamour and the glitz and seeing that somebody, hey, they got a big paycheck from selling that house. But what they don't see is what it actually takes to get the job done. And so I think the biggest reason why people don't have success in real estate is that they're not committed to their own personal growth. They haven't laid out a game plan to say, I'm going to be a professional in this industry and I'm going to do what it takes to get the job done.
Hmm. Yeah, great answer, and that's a perfect segue into your teaching at the Market Center, right? So, what are some of those fundamental principles that you stress in your class? We were talking a little bit before the interview.
Yeah, yeah. What Gary has done is he's taken the best practices of not just real estate but all business, and he has empowered us with training that we can actually go online ourselves and get through KW Connect. But he's also empowered us with the ability to be able to sit in a classroom with other people at the same skill level or greater and learn from those folks on different topics. So one of the topics that I'll be teaching actually next week, next Thursday, the 23rd, I'll be teaching a course on the 6 personal perspectives. And the 6 personal perspectives were the key things that separated talent talent from non-talent and people that were willing to execute on. So one of the 6 personal perspectives, step number one is what's called committing to self-mastery. And basically what that means is being willing to do what others aren't willing to do so that you'll have what others aren't willing to have. And there's a lot more to it than that, of course, but just digging deep on attaining an understanding and then growing from that baseline to attaining another level of understanding.
Hmm. And how long have you been? Were you always with Keller Williams, or did you start somewhere else?
That's a great question. I actually started as an independent broker. I actually hung my license originally under my wife's father, and then I went out as an independent broker And then from an independent brokerage, I interviewed 11 different real estate companies, all the big names, and even the 100% companies and everyone else. And what came so clear for me was the fact that Keller Williams had a system of training that would allow me to get off the island that I was on, because I literally was on an island thinking that I knew it all when I didn't know anything.
Mm.
As an independent broker, I was completely clueless, even though I didn't know I was.
Were you
Uh,
doing good at that time, or were you
yeah,
struggling?
I was doing fine. I actually hired a coach in 2009, in the beginning of 2009, and one of the things the coach did is he said, "Hey, I want you to start interviewing some top agents to see what they do." And that's what caused me to go on this quest of finding the right real estate brokerage to hang my license with, because I started realizing that I didn't know what I didn't know.
Ah, yeah. So you joined Keller Williams because it has kind of like an entrepreneurial culture. We're all taught to think of ourselves as small business owners, right?
Correct.
But you were still doing well before you got to Keller Williams, but you were not a mega agent until you came into the KW family, right?
Right, because I didn't learn leverage.
Mm.
Leverage was the thing that I learned better than I had in anything else in the past. I had an assistant, but I didn't really know how to use the assistant in the proper way. I had buyer's agents, but I didn't really know how to use them in the proper way. Now we have a team that does all the right things, because we are using the best practices of not only what we find in our local office, but we're finding internationally and nationally. So we have this great ability to understand what works and what doesn't work, and that's a really key aspect to everything.
Mm-hmm. Being an agent or a realtor for so many years, I mean, decades in the industry, right? You've seen all the shifts in the real estate market, right? You've seen the ups, the downs, I mean, the extremes, and then everything in between, right?
Right.
So you're familiar with the influx of agents, in a good market, a whole bunch of them are going to be coming out,
Like we're seeing right now.
like we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
So, what would you tell an existing agent? Because it's about to get a whole lot more competitive, right? Or am I wrong there?
Well, it's a great question. I would say that based on our listing inventory right now, and based on the number of buyers in the market, and the fact that we have what's called tight inventory, meaning that we've got very low supply, yeah, it is competitive. And we have, it is not an industry for the faint of heart. It's not for the industry. It's not an industry that's for the ill-equipped agent. It's an industry that is for somebody who wants to have the funnest, most exciting career that they can have, make a ton of money, but they have to be committed to their craft. And the commitment to their craft has to do with the fact that they need to be focused on what matters most. And what I see most new agents doing is the wrong things. And
Mm.
they don't even know they're doing the wrong things. But that's why we have a course called Ignite. And Ignite is a class that we take people through, and we show them the best practices of a millionaire real estate agent, piece by piece by piece, in 18 different segments, so that they can quickly get up to speed on what makes an agent successful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one of many classes that we offer.
Okay. And just I'm sorry if I missed it. You joined the Keller Williams family in '09?
Correct.
Okay. So right around the middle of the recession, right? The Great Recession.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I joined because I was in the distressed property business on my own as an investor, flipping houses and doing things. That's why I had my general contractor's license. But then what I did is I came into an opportunity to work with distressed assets. And so I wanted to have the ability to work with distressed assets. And then I started getting leads for getting distressed assets sold in other states through my source. And then what happened was I didn't have anybody to refer them to. I didn't have a network available to me
Ah,
because I was an independent agent. And so that was part of the other catalyst that made me decide, hey, I want to find a national organization. And when I looked at everything else, it just didn't compare to what Keller Williams has to offer.
interesting. So yeah, so you're also and have been a real estate investor in addition to being a real estate agent.
Yeah, I flip houses, and I do hard money loans and all those kinds of things as well.
I always wondered. I've been a realtor for a year and a half now, and I was an investor before, and I'm involved in other industries also. I always wonder why more realtors are not investing in real estate themselves. I mean, they see the best deals, at least I hope they do. They're
Right.
they're living this industry, and I think a very small percentage of them actually get into the investing space. Do you know why that is?
Well, I'll tell you the number one reason why is if you ask the average agent how much money they made last year, national statistics say that they're below the poverty level. So
Wow.
the main reason why agents don't invest is because they're not serious about their craft. What I can tell you, being part of Gary's top group and working with top agents in that group, every single one of those folks is an investor in real estate. Not only are they an investor in real estate, but they're an investor in people. And so what's great about understanding leverage is that you can go back and you can actually find someone to partner with that can actually help you build, let's say, your flipping business. If you have the right relationship and you
Mm,
guys are equally motivated and you can mentor that person, then you can actually build that up. And that's what Gary teaches, which is pretty cool because then you can leverage through a whole bunch of different ways. But again, the mass majority is broke, right? I mean, that's just the bottom line. And the difference between them and anyone else is hard work pays off. But it has to be not just hard work; it has to be work focused in the right direction, doing the right things, and saying the right things, doing the right things, and continuing to do that over a long period of time. Mastery takes 10,000 hours, they say, of anything that you do. So you can't just jump into an industry and then say, hey, I want to get started. You have to be focused on how it is that I can continue to get better and better and better at my craft.
wow. Yeah, for me, it was a no-brainer joining Keller Williams. I read The Millionaire Real Estate Investor first. When I got my license, I read this book. This is like the Bible for us,
Right.
right? And
Yep.
it was a no-brainer for me, but I didn't realize that in that level, especially the mastermind levels that you're in, everyone's an investor. So that's just proof for all you realtors out there who are not part of Keller Williams. Not only will they teach you how to be as successful of a realtor as you can possibly be, but also be an investor, which is, I mean, you're building your wealth while you're building your business. So very interesting. Thank you, Devin. If somebody wants, so you teach regularly at the Market Center in Irvine?
I do, absolutely, and I'm glad to help anybody in the process of getting started. Or what's interesting is that I talk to a lot of top agents at other companies, and top agents at other companies have challenges. And what I can tell you about other companies is they don't have the resources and the depth of the knowledge that we have on solving what their issues are. So I see a lot of realtors that are even making $100,000 or $200,000 a year at another company, but they're not having the success that they could because they're not doing the right things,
Mm,
and they're not getting leverage in their lives, and that's a key ingredient to making it happen.
hmm And central to your business, you've built teams. And as we wrap up here, I'm assuming you get approached often by realtors who want to join your team, or is it the opposite? Do you approach realtors?
No, I do get approached quite a bit about people who want to join the team, and we actually have a pretty low bar for entry, and that is that we are looking for people who are hardworking, right? We talked about that quite a bit. We're also looking for people that are have basically a never quit type of attitude. And they also have to fit a certain personality profile. We use what's called the DISC assessment, DISC. And through the DISC personality assessment, what we can find out is what their natural gifts are, and then we can help them focus on what they need to do within the real estate space based on their natural gifts.
Hmm Interesting. Last question before we wrap up, and we got to do a part two at some time
Okay.
because I've got so many for you. If you're a new agent, okay, but you're ambitious and work ethic's not an issue, okay, would you advise that new agent to join a team or just have a coach?
That is a great question. I appreciate that question. It really depends. I think that without a doubt, I would tell them to join a team because they're going to get the quickest ability to understand best practices, and they're going to get the quickest implementation to best practices, and they're also going to see a high performing agent doing the job and have the benefit of understanding that. And I have mentored many people through to successful careers, many people who are still within the Keller Williams world. And because of profit sharing, it's a huge benefit for me and for them. So I have no problem mentoring people through a process. But the thing that I will say is that going individual is okay as well, as long as you are fully committed and you can, like you said, hire a coach or get someone to hold you accountable. Because at the end of the day, we only do what, we will always do more for others than we will ourselves.
I see. Yeah, thank you, Devin, very much for your time. If someone wants to actually get a hold of you, what do they do?
They can reach out to us directly on my toll-free number, 866-338-4677. That's 866-338-4677.
All right, and you teach regularly at the Market Center, so swing by and ask to see a calendar of events and see Devin's name on there.
Hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate the call.
Thank you, Devin, and thank you guys for watching therealtorshow.com. Take care.